Next month is the 10th anniversary of the Argentine invasion of the Falkland Islands. It took 2 months for Britain to regain the territory and cost 250 British servicemen their lives. More than 1,000 Argentines also died in the conflict. Brian Hanrahan, who covered the war for the BBC, has been back to the islands and sends this report.
10 years on from the war, the Phantoms of the RAF's Falkland Squadron still fly daily patrols with live ammunition. But while the military maintain their guard, the diplomats are trying to build a more stable peace, based on cooperation rather than confrontation.
We will notify the Argentinians, for instance, if we exercise with ships and aircraft over a certain number and a certain number of soldiers within a particular range of the Falkland Islands, and they'll do the same for us.
There's no forgetting the price paid to redeem the islands. The cemetery at San Carlos, where the British landed, recalls the 255 who died. Little has changed since the war ended. The fundamental difference between Britain and Argentina, and the one that took them to war, remains the same. The Argentinians say they have sovereignty over the land. The British say it's for the Falkland Islanders to decide who the islands belong to. This was a war fought on playgrounds and home pastures, and it's seared into the islanders' memories. Anya Coffrey was just 15 when the Argentinians invaded. Now she plays with her own daughter outside the home where her family took refuge in the cellar. Sitting by candlelight, they listened to the nightly explosions. And as with others, the experience cemented her views.
When you hear people speaking Spanish, it brings back memories. And there's no way we'd ever want anything at all to do with them again.
And what about the changes that have taken place since the war? How do you feel about that?
I tell my little girl now about strangers and that she mustn't talk to people she doesn't know and things like that, which is a bit of a shame in such a small place to have to do that, really.
Argentinians are still banned from the islands. Argentinian tourists on cruise ships aren't allowed ashore. Suggestions of cooperation with Argentina are viewed with hostile suspicion. To reassure, the army makes sure it's seen. The cost of Britain's commitment is put at £60 million a year, and there's no simple answer about whether it needs to be spent. It hangs on a political judgment about Argentina's intentions. Brian Hanrahan, BBC News, on the Falkland Islands.
South Africa's President de Klerk has launched his campaign to persuade the white population to back his political reforms. He says his government will resign if it loses a whites-only referendum in 2 weeks' time. Right-wing opposition parties have formed an alliance to campaign against the reforms. From Cape Town, our Southern Africa correspondent, John Harrison.
Inland from Cape Town, through the wine regions to the university town of Stellenbosch, President de Klerk has begun a 2-week campaign that will take him to 31 towns and cities.
My message is a positive one, and I'm sure I will get a positive reaction.
Much is at stake for President de Klerk, who's accused, even by his friends, of failing to reassure whites that political reform in South Africa will not be at their expense. But his response today was this warning.
A no vote will lead this country into chaos. I have no doubt about that.
The president's opponents, an alliance of right-wing parties, will campaign for an independent homeland for whites who cannot conceal their contempt for de Klerk and Nelson Mandela of the ANC.
We reject your black communist government over the whole of South Africa. You must know that we will never accept that.
The Conservative Party's alliance with the neo-Nazi resistance movement, the AWB, could well offend wavering English-speaking voters eager for a negotiated settlement. Nelson Mandela, who's backing a yes vote for reform, warns of the dangers of a right-wing victory.
The AWB has threatened civil war if a democratic government has been installed. But in the long term, there is no force either inside or outside this country which can stop the forward movement of the peace process of the country.
FW de Klerk starts with a built-in advantage, support from big business, foreign governments and most of South Africa's news media. But the president can ill afford complacency. He needs not just to win, but to win convincingly if he's to boast a sound mandate for reform. John Harrison, BBC News, Stellenbosch.
For the third day in a row, one of the busiest sections of the M4 is closed while engineers try to remove an old motorway bridge in one piece. It's now hoped that the 2-mile section near the Severn crossing will be opened later this afternoon, if the bridge can be successfully transported to Orst on a series of trailers for demolition. The Department of Transport decided against blowing up the bridge or demolishing it on site because it fears it will be dangerous and disrupt traffic too much. At first, some of the lifting gear got stuck in mud, and then large cracks appeared as the bridge, weighing 2,000 tons, was moved into place. It's now due to be moved in an hour's time. The former England goalkeeper Peter Shilton has made a move into football management with the second division club Plymouth Argyle. He's been appointed as their player manager, and even though he's now 42, he says he intends to carry on playing for at least 2 seasons.
Renowned as one of the finest goalkeepers the world has seen and still one of the best in the Football League, Peter Shilton knows his appointment as Plymouth's player manager will demand of him as good a save as he's ever made, saving the club from relegation to the third division. Currently third from bottom of the second, the club, who mark the league's southwesternmost outpost, have been in serious decline, with paltry attendances ill reflecting a large, rich catchment area. Argyle's board hope their new manager will reverse trends on and off the pitch.
The main job, obviously, this season is to make sure that we stay in the second division, and that's not going to be easy. But I've always relished the challenge in football, and this is a big challenge, and I'm ready for it.
Shilton's decision to carry on playing should certainly make that task easier. Capped a world record 125 times by England, and with nearly 1,000 league appearances with 5 clubs behind him, his contribution to the game has been immense, his experience unmatched. Retirement from international football after the World Cup was, some say, even at 42, premature. Certainly, Plymouth could hardly be in a more assured pair of hands.
A rescue mission has begun to save a beluga whale dumped in the Black Sea. It's thought the white whale was abandoned by a Russian aquarium which could no longer afford to feed it. Conservationists say it may die because the Black Sea is too warm. They're planning to fly the whale to colder feeding grounds. Villagers near Sinop in northern Turkey are nursing the whale and feeding it by hand, but it's still said to be suffering.
The beluga is thousands of miles from its natural home in the icy waters of the Arctic. Local people who've named the white whale Hayton, which means bright, have now been joined by tourists eager to catch a glimpse of him swimming in the village harbour. The Turkish government is providing 160 pounds of herring each day to feed Hayton, but that's just a small proportion of the 700 pounds of fish that the 7-year-old needs. Marine scientists say he's beginning to show signs of stress, including a lesion on the lower lip.
Temperatures rise to 25 degrees centigrade by July. It's an animal which really couldn't survive at those temperatures. It would literally warm up and become very overheated. It would also be at serious risk of skin cancer due to the sun hitting its back when it rose above the water.
Belugas are known as particularly sociable creatures which thrive in family groups. The rescue, if it goes ahead, would mean airlifting Hayton back to his Arctic home. It's a high-risk operation which he may not survive, but it seems there's no alternative. The scientists say if he's not moved, he'll die.
And now it's